Hello Gemini, thank you very much for tuning into your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm going to use the Daily Tarot by Renata Lechner. For the supportive oracle cards, we're going to use the Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Already shuffled. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. I feel like we really... Let's see how... This feels like it's kind of... Yes. No. Yes. Okay. Alright, this is going to be interesting. Let's see where this goes. There's a lot about where this is ending up. It seems to be mostly about where this is ending up. Alright, it's mostly about where this is ending up. You gotta like... Yep, I thought so. Okay. This seems like this is something that feels like it's been dragging out. But even though I'm saying, well, no, it feels like it's dragging out. It may not have always been a situation where you felt labored by it. And maybe even, I don't know. It's dragging out. You have to decide whether that's good or bad. I think that's where I basically have to put it. Because what I'm getting is how you even came into this situation. When you came into it, you were very excited about it, is what I'm getting. Very happy about it. Very like, yeah, let's do this. You wanted to get your 2 cents in there. You wanted to do something with this. You were very active in getting involved. But I also see like you definitely realized this was going to take a while. I don't feel like that held you back. Because I know sometimes with Gemini energy, you like that ability to at least be flexible in a situation. But I feel like whatever this was looking at, you felt like you could do this. You seem to have known when you got into it that this was going to take a while. But you willingly stepped in. You decided this is something that should happen. Stereotypically, it seems to me that Geminis like flexibility. They like to be able to like change it up a bit or move around a little bit, keep it interesting, if you know what I mean. And I don't see this situation having a lot of potential for that, but I don't feel like you let that hold you down. You're just kind of like, no, I think I really need to be a part of this. And I also feel like you had an evolved moment in the sense of like, you know what? Maybe at first glance it doesn't look like there's a lot of flexibility here, but maybe I could create some. And maybe that would help the situation. I just don't feel like you were letting the way it looks very kind of like set the way it is. It's got its borders, it's got its definition to it. I just don't feel like you were like, oh, well, that's just how it is. I don't feel like that's how you came into it. You wanted to, you knew it was going to be a while before things really worked out, but you thought, well, maybe I can make some flexibility for myself. Maybe I can make this more enjoyable, but I really feel like I need to be a part of this. So, I do feel like you did that, though. A situation that does not seem very flexible. You found variances of things you can do. I mean, within parameters, I get that, but you kept yourself fairly amused. I'm getting the word amused. You kept yourself amused with the situation. I almost feel like if it was like, the road's going this way, it's a straight road, it's the straight road that way the whole way, there's no curves, there's no turns, you still had things to amuse yourself along the way. You still would stop. You had things, you made it enjoyable. You made that trip, even though it's a straight, long road, you made it enjoyable. You decided you had your own flexibility in how you would handle it. I feel like I'm thinking of a student for some reason that I am aware of. And even though it was a boring subject, I remember her using colored pens and stickers and colorful paper. She made it enjoyable for herself. The subject was not that enjoyable or fun for her, but she made it enjoyable. And it may have seemed stupid to other people, but she didn't care. She had a good time with it. And I get that. So I feel like that's almost how you did this. Like, yeah, sure, it's a boring subject. Yeah, it's a boring trip. I'm going to bring the fun into it for myself, and I'm going to make it enjoyable for myself. And you did. You got prosperity. You've seen it for what it was before you really got into it, is what I'm getting. You knew it wasn't going to be all fun and games unless you made it that way. And then you only had a certain amount of flexibility, but you made it happen. You enjoyed as much as you could. And the situation's still going is also what I'm getting, by the way. But I'm also getting is you made it enjoyable for yourself. You made it enjoyable for other people. Abundance, victory, that same analogy where I'm thinking of this student where she used colors and stickers, and she made how she recorded the information fun for herself. You know what I mean? She made the joy in the situation. The situation was not a fun subject. It was boring as all get out, from what I remember. I think it was. It doesn't matter. It was a boring subject to her. How's that? She made it fun. She pulled the fun in. And I feel you did the same thing, same analogy, and you not only made it fun for yourself, you made it fun for other people. You really were a great asset to this situation. And I'm using the word. I'm questioning why, because has that kind of gone to the wayside, or is it about to? Because when I'm seeing the situation going into next, you got the Nine of Swords, the Page of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. The situation is taking a change. It's been going on for a while. I don't feel like you want to continue with it anymore. I feel like enough is enough. I feel like if I'm standing in the side of the Gemini person, I feel like, yeah, I knew this, but you know what? It's been going on long enough. And I feel like I've done enough good here. I feel like that's kind of like the hero of the day. I've done enough good here. It's somebody else could take the baton now, because I need to move on. I feel like you're kind of like, it was good, and I made it good for other people, but you know what? I think I'm about done here. And I feel like the Knight of Swords is saying that you're just kind of like, I know there's more to do. I know there's farther to go. I just don't think it's with me. And I'm getting the Page of Swords with you is kind of like you're keeping a sharp eye on the situation because you're ready to move on. You are ready to move on. That's actually this card. The Ace of Wands is kind of like, this is on your side. You're thinking to yourself, I've had enough. You're keeping a sharp eye on the situation, looking for your out. You're ready for your out. You're done. You've made up your mind, is what I'm getting is you have made up your mind that you want out. Now it's just about which way to do it, how to do it, stuff like that. This is causing the wheel to turn in the environment, because opportunities will come your way. This is going to change the situation a little bit. You looking to move on will have an effect on this situation. It will turn the wheel. It will turn the wheel for the situation itself. You leaving will have a dramatic effect, is what I'm getting. I don't think that's anything to feel bad about, but I'm getting, you definitely have decided you want out. It doesn't mean it's happening like that, and you're just like, oh, got my stuff, later. I don't see that happening, but you got it in your head. I'm done. I just got to find my way to get out of this. I just got to decide what way to do this. Now, I'm noticing this like a riddle here. Because if you notice the Sphinx, I think that's the Sphinx. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I really do think that's the Sphinx. It's just an interesting way they have it portrayed at the top of the wheel. It's kind of like the riddle. You're moving things around. I don't know if you're actually... Are you telling people? Because you might. You're getting people ready. I don't know if you're flat out telling them point blank, I'm finishing. But you're setting things up. I don't really think you're telling people point blank that you're leaving, but I feel like you're setting things up and people are starting to get the hint. Like, the Gemini seems to be doing something here. It's almost like they're pushing things off. They're getting other people ready to do things they used to do. People are starting to see the writing on the wall. The wheel is starting to turn here. It is. Now, you're setting the situation up for success. You want this situation to be successful. You don't want to leave a bad taste in the situation when you leave. You don't want it to go down or get any worse. You don't want anything bad to happen. You want good things for the situation. I feel like you want to leave this on a positive note is what I'm getting. Because I see the wisdom. I see you sharing your wisdom of what you know, what you've learned, how you made it enjoyable for yourself and other people. You're sharing what you can, and you want to leave behind what you can to keep the joy going so somebody else can pick up that baton and be as successful as you were, bring as much joy in as possible. You're very giving in this situation. I'm getting that you're sharing a lot, that whatever you're comfortable with naturally. But I feel like you're teaching this situation, like this is how you can keep it being good. This is how you can keep the joy in the situation. This is what I would do if I was you. I still don't know if you're flat out telling people you're leaving just yet. But I'm getting like the situation is healing, improving or healing, depending on what you're doing. Because I feel like you're talking to people and you're empowering other people. Like, just because it's a rough situation doesn't mean everybody has to be down. We can find ways to enjoy life. And just because the situation is boring as brass tacks on a paper plate, whatever that means, whatever that means, it's like no life in it. I don't know. Move on. Doesn't mean we have to just accept it. We can make something out of it. These are supplies. The situation is there for us to make enjoyable. We need to make it enjoyable ourselves. You're teaching people. You're helping the situation. People are getting a hold of it. People are learning from you. The Nine of Wands, they have word from you. Not Wands, Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, they've gained a lot. They're happy with where things have been. They know that you're right. They've lived through it. You've taken them through, most of these people, you've taken them through it with you. So they know that you're right. You're just reminding them, do this, do that, find ways. Don't just, sit there and accept it's boring as all get out. Don't just accept it. What makes you happy? There's always lateral movement. I feel like you're telling people this. There's always lateral movement to make more enjoyment in the situation. Just because it has to keep going forward doesn't mean you have to keep in lane A. You can go in lane B and continue to go forward. Lane C, continue to go forward. They all go to the same destination. Just keep lateral movement and just make sure your destination is the same. You're fine. You can do things a little bit differently. Bring a little bit more joy into the situation. People know you're right. You're you're setting this situation up with the 6. Is that the 6 of Wands? Yes. The victory here is like people really are feeling very empowered, and you want to leave the situation with people feeling empowered. You're doing that for this situation. The Knight of Cups also, like, you got the Knight of Pentacles on the other side. You got the Knight of Cups in the situation. I feel like you've empowered people enough to where you were literally leaving on good terms. You're leaving and people are okay with it. You've made them feel like they can handle the situation and they can bring the joy back in themselves, that they can have that. Because what's actually happening here is the Death card. You're leaving it. And when you leave this situation, you're done. You've been in it for a while. You made up your decision. You made your decision and you will leave is what I'm getting. Completely, when I'm getting the Death card, you're completely done. Like, you're not doing this part-time. You're not spot checking. You're not doing a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit later. You're done. You're completely done. And I'm getting people are remembering what you've told them. You've made a very strong impact here. What is that number? The 7 of Pentacles. People know what to do. It's up to them to pull it forward. And I feel this, when this is coming in the Death card with the 7 of Pentacles coming up from the environment. When you first leave, I don't feel like it's really going to be clicking in what they need to do. But like when they get bored and they want to make things a little more fun, it's up to them to do so. I'm getting the 7 of Pentacles. It's almost like they're holding it as a suggestion for the future. And when you leave this situation, you're also kind of like, you're not sure how people are going to fare after this. You don't know how this is going to work out for them. But it's not up to you to know that. They're saying it's not for you to worry about. You've given your 2 cents. You've given advice. You've said how you make it better. It's up to the people left to do it themselves, to do it for themselves. I feel like when you're actually leaving, you're not seeing it happen. You're not seeing them take the advice. The question is if they will after. The Moon card on your side is like you won't definitively know one way or another. I feel like for the most of you, though, these people will kick in on their own. Not exactly how you did it, not as good as you did it. But they'll make, certain people will make their own joy out of the situation. So, but they're saying the Moon card on your side is like, it's not for you to worry about anymore. You did the best you can. You did what you meant to do. I do feel like you have a heart connection with some people. You want them to be happy. You want the best for people. You want them to create their own joy. You did everything that was expected of you. Because I feel you literally completely moving on from the situation. And it's up to them. You did what you were supposed to do. You fulfilled your contract is how I'm getting here. You fulfilled your piece of the puzzle. You fulfilled your requirement. And now you moved on. And that's just kind of how it goes. I feel like they're just saying the whole point is job well done. Let You got to let them own it themselves. The soul growth here is by them owning it themselves. Your obligation is released. Job well done. I feel job well done for you. And that's it. Okay. All right, let's wrap that up there. I hope that helped. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.